There's no pipe running to this garden bed, no well nearby, and the sky above has been completely clear for a week straight. And yet, right now, something invisible is quietly feeding water to these plants. Look closely at a small container sitting on the ground next to a simple mesh panel, and you'll see drops forming and falling, one after another, since before sunrise. It hasn't rained in days, but the soil around these roots stays damp, almost like the night itself is watering the garden while everyone sleeps. There's no hidden motor, no pump running anywhere nearby, no machine of any kind. Everything making this possible cost around $12 to build, and it can keep your plants alive through a dry spell without touching your water bill. This isn't some new invention or classified technology. Engineers have understood this exact principle for well over a century, and entire communities have grown food using it, with no electricity, no pump, and no dependence on rainfall whatsoever. Along the coast of northern Chile, massive mesh nets pull drinking water directly out of ocean fog. In the Anti-Atlas Mountains of Morocco, similar structures supply entire villages every single day. So here's the question almost nobody asks. If this can water a garden almost by itself, why isn't everyone using it? The answer is a little frustrating once you understand it, because the method is simply too cheap and too simple to ever become a product worth selling. There's no monthly subscription, no water bill involved, and anyone can build the whole thing in an afternoon. You've actually witnessed this exact phenomenon thousands of times without ever connecting the dots. Think about a cold glass of lemonade sweating on a hot summer day. That water never came from inside the glass. It came straight out of the surrounding air, invisible moisture that was floating there the entire time. The same principle explains morning dew covering the grass or the tiny droplets clinging to spiderwebs at sunrise. Nature has been running this exact trick forever, and today you're going to learn how to copy it precisely. Everything here comes down to something called the dew point, an invisible temperature threshold where air simply can't hold on to any more water vapor. When warm, humid air touches a surface cold enough, something remarkable happens. The water vapor stops being invisible gas and turns back into liquid. That's precisely what happens on your cold glass. Warm air touches the chilled surface and instantly releases the moisture it was carrying. Now imagine deliberately scaling up that same reaction, building a surface specifically designed to trap that water. That's exactly what a fog and dew collector does. A fine mesh creates thousands of tiny condensation points, each individual thread acting as a landing spot where water vapor transforms into liquid droplets throughout the night. At first, these droplets are microscopic, but they quickly begin merging with neighboring drops. When two touch, they become one larger drop, and when several join together, gravity finally takes over. The droplet begins sliding slowly down the mesh, exactly like a bead of water creeping down a spiderweb, eventually reaching the bottom edge of the structure and dropping straight into a collection trough below. All of this happens while you're asleep. Thousands of tiny condensation events, repeating throughout the night with zero electricity and zero moving parts. Just basic physics working in the dark. Here's the fascinating part. The system actually performs best when nobody's watching it. As nighttime temperatures drop gradually, the surrounding air releases even more of its hidden moisture. A gentle breeze makes the whole process more efficient still, since fresh humid air constantly passes through the mesh, meaning more vapor gets captured, and more droplets slide down into your collector. By morning, when you finally check the trough, clean water is already waiting there, produced silently by the atmosphere itself while you did absolutely nothing. Now for the genuinely good part, building this system is remarkably simple, and the total materials list rarely costs more than a casual lunch out. You'll need a piece of shade cloth or fine mesh netting, often called racial mesh, the same material Chilean engineers have used in large-scale fog collection projects since the 1980s. The tighter the weave, the more efficiently it captures droplets, and this mesh becomes the heart of the entire system. Next, grab 4 lengths of PVC pipe to build the frame that holds everything upright. Nothing fancy required, just something sturdy enough to resist wind. A handful of plastic zip ties will secure the mesh tightly to that frame, and finally, A simple plastic gutter or trough will catch every drop that slides down. Adding it all together, the total cost typically lands between $10 and $15, sometimes less if you're reusing scrap materials sitting in your garage already. Start by building a simple rectangular frame from the PVC pipes. Roughly 4 feet tall and 3 feet wide works well. It doesn't need to look elegant, it just needs to stand firm against wind. Stretch your mesh across that frame, pulling it taut until there's no sag anywhere. Then secure every edge using zip ties spaced about 6 inches apart, treating the surface like the skin of a drum. If the mesh sags anywhere, water pools into little pockets instead of sliding down properly, which noticeably reduces how much you collect. Once finished, you'll have a lightweight panel with mesh stretched drum tight across a simple frame, ready to start pulling water straight out of the night air. Here's where most people make a critical mistake. They lay the panel flat on the ground, which almost completely destroys its effectiveness. When the mesh sits flat, collected water doesn't drain properly and simply evaporates again once the sun rises. The real secret is tilting the structure somewhere between 15 and 30 degrees, which is all it takes. Simply lean the panel slightly against a wall or fence post at that angle, and every droplet that forms will begin sliding downward on its own, following gravity toward the bottom edge where your gutter sits waiting. Position matters just as much as angle. This entire system depends on airflow, not just the mesh itself. If wind never actually passes through the material, almost nothing happens, since water vapor simply flows around the structure instead of through it. Walk around your intended location in the evening and pay attention to where the breeze naturally comes from. That direction should always face the front of your panel, because air needs to physically move through the mesh fibers to slow down and release its moisture. Height matters too. Avoid placing your collector directly on bare ground, since air near the surface tends to run warmer and drier. Raising the panel just 12 inches off the ground using a few stacked bricks or cinder blocks makes a real difference. Morning sun exposure is another detail people overlook entirely. If direct sunlight hits your collector the moment the sun rises, all that overnight moisture evaporates before you ever get the chance to collect it. Choose a spot with some morning shade, near a tree or a wall facing away from direct sunrise, and set everything up before evening so the system has the entire night to work uninterrupted. Real-world results from small backyard collectors typically range from roughly half a liter to 2 liters per night, depending heavily on regional humidity and how close you are to a coastline or large body of water. That might sound modest at first, but consider what's happening in regions where this technology operates at scale. Along Chile's arid coastline near the town of Chungungo, the Canadian nonprofit FogQuest, working alongside Chilean researchers including engineer Carlos Espinosa starting in the 1980s, installed large fog collection nets roughly 40 square meters each, and documented these panels capturing between 200 and 500 liters of water per day during peak fog conditions, enough to supply drinking water for entire small communities for years. In Morocco's Anti-Atlas Mountains, the organization Darcy Hamad has operated similar large-scale fog nets near Mount Boutmezguida since 2015, providing water access to thousands of residents in villages that previously relied on women and children walking hours daily to fetch water. Scale explains the difference entirely. A backyard panel measuring 3 feet across collects a modest but genuinely useful amount, while a panel measuring 130 feet across, like those used in Chile, captures enough water to sustain a small town. If you expand your home version to something 6 or 8 feet wide, you're looking at real daily water production, potentially enough to keep a substantial section of your garden consistently moist through a dry summer stretch. This idea is nowhere near new. In fact, it's remarkably old. On the island of El Hierro in the Canary Islands, the indigenous Bimbach people reportedly depended almost entirely on a single sacred laurel tree known as the garoe, whose broad leaves condensed moisture from Atlantic trade wind fog, allowing water to drip continuously into natural stone basins below, a water source documented by early Spanish chroniclers following the island's conquest in the 1400s, at a time when the island had no permanent freshwater springs of its own. Ancient civilizations across arid regions independently discovered the same basic principle: cold surfaces pulling invisible water straight out of humid night air, long before anyone understood the underlying physics. Then piped municipal water arrived over the last century, and we simply stopped needing to think about where water actually came from. Turning a faucet handle solved the problem instantly, but it also erased generations of practical knowledge that once kept entire communities alive through drought. The physics never stopped working, though. Air is still saturated with invisible moisture every single night, and dew still forms every single morning whether we notice it or not. All we're really doing here is remembering a principle that never disappeared and putting it back into practice with some PVC pipe, mesh, and zip ties. If this changed how you look at something as ordinary as night air, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment telling us if you're going to build one this week, and share this with someone who's tired of watching their garden struggle through every dry spell.